Chosen ones, listen closely, because I don't believe you stumbled onto this message by accident. God Himself has brought you here for a reason, and that reason is urgent. He is saying, time is up. This is my final warning. Can you feel it in your spirit? The heavens are stirring, the earth is trembling, and something divine is unfolding right before our very eyes. There's a shift happening in the spiritual realm that cannot be denied. And whether you realize it or not, you are part of that shift. Your soul has been marked for this very moment. You are not here by coincidence. You have been chosen, handpicked by the living God. I want you to pause and take this in. Think about the way the world feels right now. The chaos, the uncertainty, the storms in the culture, in the economy, in families, in personal battles. Doesn't it feel like something is shaking? Like creation itself is groaning, waiting for God's chosen ones to rise up? This isn't just another day. This isn't just another video you happen to click on. This is a divine appointment. God is sounding the alarm in your life, and He's saying the time for hesitation is over. The countdown has begun. Now let me ask you, what if the very thing you've been praying for, waiting for, believing for, what if it is standing right on the other side of this moment? What if your destiny, your breakthrough, your transformation is closer than you think? What would you do if you knew that the next step you take could rewrite your entire story? Would you shrink back in fear, or would you step forward in faith? That's the choice God is putting before you right now. I know some of you watching this have been through battles most people couldn't even imagine. Nights of tears, prayers that felt unanswered, moments where you wondered, God, are you even listening to me? And yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still searching for His voice. Can I tell you something? Every single tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt, it was not wasted. It was on fire. Fire that forged you, shaped you, and prepared you to be the chosen one you are today. You may have thought you were broken, but in God's eyes you were being built. You may have thought you were forgotten, but He has been right beside you the entire time. Think of a seed buried deep in the ground. From the outside it looks dead, hidden under the heavy weight of soil. But deep within something is happening. Growth, life, potential pressing against the dirt, waiting for its season to break through. That's you. The weight of your past, the struggles you've endured, they were never meant to bury you. They were meant to grow you. And now God says the season of blooming has arrived. The soil is breaking, the light is shining, and it's your time to rise. This isn't just about surviving anymore, it's about thriving. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. I know some of you are asking, why me, why now? Why does this message hit so deeply in my spirit? The answer is simple, because you were born for this. God didn't choose you because you're perfect, because you've always been strong, or because you've never messed up. He chose you because of your heart, because in the storm you clung to Him, because when everything seemed lost, you still held on to hope, because even when the path was unclear, you dared to believe. That's why He's speaking to you now. That's why you can't shake this urgency rising inside you. This is not fear, it's preparation. God is aligning every piece of your life, every detail, every connection, every closed door, and every open one for what is about to come. And He needs you ready. He needs you awake. He needs you standing firm in your purpose. The atmosphere around you is charged right now with divine possibility. Some of you can feel it. You know something is shifting. The struggles you faced, the failures you endured, the times you felt abandoned, those were never the end of your story. They were the training ground for your destiny. God is declaring over you, the clock has run out on your old life. The chains are breaking, the doors are opening. But here's the thing, you still have to choose to walk through them. God will open the way, but He won't force you to step. That's your act of faith. This is why I'm asking you right now, don't just listen passively. Engage with this moment. Declare it publicly. Hit that like button not because it helps me, but because it's your signal to the universe, your signal to heaven that you are ready. Subscribe not just to join this channel, but to join thousands of chosen ones across the world, standing together in this divine shift. And comment 777 below, because 7 is God's number of completion, perfection, and divine alignment. When you type those numbers, you're making a declaration. I am ready for the blessing. I am ready for the breakthrough. I am ready for what God has prepared for me. Let's think back to the story of Noah. People laughed at him. They mocked him, ridiculed him, and said he was crazy for building an ark under a clear sky. But Noah's obedience, his willingness to act on God's warning, was the very thing that saved his family. Do you see the parallel? Right now, the world may not understand why you're still holding on to faith. They may not see why you keep trusting when the sky looks clear, when nothing seems urgent. But you're building your ark. Every act of obedience, every prayer, every choice to keep believing, that's a plank in your vessel. And when the floodwaters come, it will be your faith that carries you through. That's why God is saying, this is your final warning. Prepare, act, trust me. And here's the beautiful truth. Your obedience today isn't just about you. It's about the lives you will touch, the people who will be inspired by your courage, the generations who will benefit from your faith. When you rise, others rise. When you shine, hearts shift. That's the ripple effect of being chosen. But I need to be real with you. The enemy is not happy about this. He's been whispering lies, sowing fear, and trying to convince you that you're not enough, that it's too late, that your mistakes disqualified you. But let me remind you, no weapon formed against you will prosper. The devil thought he could break you. He thought the attacks, the losses, the heartbreak would destroy you. What he didn't know was that every attack was only setting you up for a comeback. Every setback was positioning you for a greater step into destiny. The fire wasn't meant to consume you, it was meant to refine you. And now God is declaring, time is up for the enemy's plans. His lies, his chains, his obstacles, they are crumbling. And you, chosen one, are rising. Imagine yourself standing on top of a mountain, looking down at the valley you've climbed out of. The path was steep, the rocks sharp, the journey exhausting. But now the view is breathtaking. That's where God is taking you, to a place of victory, of clarity, of purpose. You may not have understood every step, but now it all makes sense. Every struggle taught you strength. Every doubt deepened your faith. And every scar became proof that you survived. Now, as God's warning rings in your spirit, you're not just a survivor, you're a conqueror. And this isn't just about your personal story. Your transformation will ripple outward. Your testimony will ignite faith in people you may never meet. The way you rise will show others that God's promises are real. The way you shine will bring hope to those trapped in darkness. Do you realize the weight of that? God is calling you to be more than a chosen one. He's calling you to be a catalyst, a spark of revival, a beacon of light in a desperate world. So let me ask you again, will you answer the call, or will you let this moment pass? Because the countdown is real. The final warning has sounded, and your destiny is waiting on the other side. Your past doesn't define you. Your failures don't disqualify you. God has already redeemed them. He has taken every broken piece and woven it into a masterpiece. This is the invitation to let go of the old and embrace the new. You are not who you were yesterday. You are stepping into a new version of yourself, a version that reflects God's glory, His strength, His love. The world will see it. They'll look at you and wonder, what changed? How did this person become so radiant, so unshakable? And the answer will be clear. It was God's hand all along. So as this moment unfolds, as the heavens stir and the earth trembles, know this: you are chosen, you are seen, you are loved, and the time is now. This is not a rehearsal. This is not a someday promise. This is God's urgent word for you. Time is up. Step into your destiny. And if you're ready, don't just sit silently. Let heaven hear you. Declare it with your voice, your actions, your faith. Like, subscribe, and comment 777 as your bold proclamation. Because this isn't just the beginning of another video. This is the beginning of a brand new chapter in your life. Chosen one, the countdown has begun. Are you ready to step into what God has prepared for you? Chosen ones, let's be real for a moment. Life has not been easy for you. You know exactly what I mean. The tears that soaked your pillow when no one else was watching. The nights where sleep never came because the weight of your worries kept you awake. The prayers you whispered into the silence, begging God for answers that never seemed to come. The struggles that made you wonder if heaven had gone quiet. You've walked through fire, and sometimes you thought that fire was going to consume you. But can I tell you something? That fire wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to shape you. It was meant to refine you into the chosen one you are today. Think about it. A diamond doesn't sparkle until it's been pressed under immense pressure. Gold doesn't shine until it's refined in the fire. And seeds don't bloom into beautiful trees until they've been buried deep in the dark, hidden from the light, surrounded by the cold heaviness of the soil. From the outside, it looks like the seed has been forgotten, but deep inside, something powerful is happening. Growth, transformation, potential. That's been your story. Maybe you thought those nights of pain were punishment. Maybe you thought those unanswered prayers meant God had abandoned you. But in reality, every sleepless night, every unanswered cry, every tear that fell, it was all part of the process. You weren't being buried. You were being planted. There's a huge difference between the two. When something is buried, it's dead and gone. But when something is planted, it's preparing for growth, preparing for life, preparing for a season of fruit. And chosen one, that's exactly what God has been doing with you. You might ask, but why me? Why did I have to go through all of this pain? Let me answer with a question. Have you ever seen someone step into greatness without first walking through difficulty? Have you ever seen a soldier crowned without first being tested in battle? God doesn't waste pain. Every hardship you faced became the training ground for the destiny He's placed inside you. Those long seasons of waiting, those moments you thought you were forgotten, they were shaping you. They were teaching you how to trust when the path wasn't clear. They were building a faith inside you that no storm could shake. And maybe right now you feel like you're still in the dark. Maybe you feel like that seed under the soil, pressed down by the weight of everything you've carried. But hear me, the soil was never meant to suffocate you. It was meant to protect you while you grew roots strong enough to support the life God is bringing forth. Because when the season changes, and it is changing, the seed breaks through, pushing against the dirt, reaching for the light, unstoppable. And when it rises stronger, healthier, and more fruitful than ever before. That's you. I need you to see the hand of God in your story. He was never distant. He was right there beside you in every step. When you cried, He counted those tears. When you doubted, He whispered strength into your heart. When you stumbled, He carried you. You may not have seen it then, but look back now. Haven't you noticed that somehow, some way, you made it through things that should have destroyed you? That wasn't luck. That was God guiding you, covering you, molding you. Let's be honest, sometimes we confuse God's silence with His absence. But His silence has never meant He left you. Sometimes silence is part of the preparation. Just like a teacher is quiet during the test, God often seems quiet when He's letting your faith grow stronger. And chosen one, you have been in a long test. But the good news is this: the time of testing is ending, and the time of breakthrough is beginning. The gates of your new season are swinging open, and what's on the other side is greater than anything you've ever imagined. You've carried heavy burdens, haven't you? The weight of past mistakes, regrets, broken relationships, financial struggles, health battles. Those burdens have felt like chains holding you down. But can I remind you today, they were never meant to bury you. They were meant to build you. And now God is saying the chains are breaking, the weight is lifting, and the door to your destiny is opening. The waiting season is over. The breakthrough season is here. Picture this: a butterfly doesn't emerge without first going through the cocoon. Inside that cocoon, everything the caterpillar was gets broken down. It looks like destruction, but really it's transformation. And when the time is right, the cocoon breaks open and the butterfly emerges more beautiful than anyone could have imagined. That's you. You thought the cocoon was the end, but God was preparing you to fly. And listen, I know some of you feel weary. You're tired of the fight. You're tired of carrying weight that feels too heavy. But I came here to tell you you're closer to breakthrough than you think. Don't quit now. Don't stop now. The night is darkest right before dawn. And your dawn is coming. The light is breaking. Your story is about to shift. Think of Joseph. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, thrown into prison for a crime he didn't commit, forgotten by those he helped. From the outside, it looked like his life was buried in disappointment, but God had planted him. And in a single day, he went from prisoner to prince, from the pit to the palace. That's the kind of turnaround God can bring to your life. The years of pain were preparation for the destiny God had in store. And just like Joseph, your breakthrough can come suddenly. So let me ask you again, do you really think all those tears were for nothing? Do you believe God wasted your pain? Or is it possible that every moment of suffering was shaping you, preparing you, building you for the life He's calling you to live? You see, the struggles of your past are the evidence that you are chosen, because only those with great purpose face great trials. If the enemy fought you this hard, it's because he knew what was inside you. And if God allowed you to walk through the fire, it's because He knew you would come out stronger, purified, refined, and ready. The waiting season has been long, but waiting is never wasted with God. Isaiah 4:031 says, "Those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint." That's the promise you're stepping into now. The waiting has been hard, but it has built strength. The night has been long, but the morning is here. The soil has been heavy, but the bloom is ready. The cocoon has been tight, but the wings are about to spread. Chosen one, your breakthrough is not coming someday. It's coming now. The season of preparation has ended, and the season of manifestation is here. The door is open, the light is shining, and it's your time to walk into everything God has prepared. So don't look back at the pain with bitterness, look back with gratitude, because without the pain you wouldn't have the strength you have today. Without the trials you wouldn't carry the faith you carry now. Without the nights of tears, you wouldn't understand the depth of God's comfort. Everything you went through was part of the plan, and now the plan is unfolding before your eyes. This is your moment. This is your season. The time of preparation is over, and the time of breakthrough is here. Chosen one, the waiting has ended. The soil is breaking, the light is shining, and it's your time to rise. Chosen ones, listen carefully. God did not choose you because of your strength, your perfection, or because you had everything figured out. He chose you because of your heart. He saw the way you held on to faith, when everything inside of you screamed to let go. He saw the way you refused to surrender hope, even when circumstances made no sense. He saw the way you trusted him in the silence, when the answers didn't come, when the doors didn't open, when the storms raged against you. That is why he calls you chosen. Sometimes we think being chosen means being the strongest, the most qualified, the most capable. But in reality, God delights in using those who feel weak, those who feel unworthy, those who feel like they don't have what it takes. Why? Because when his power works through them, there's no confusion about where the glory belongs. It belongs to him. That's why the Bible says his strength is made perfect in our weakness. This message, this warning you're hearing right now, it is not about fear. God isn't trying to scare you into action. No, he's preparing you. He's aligning your spirit with his plan. He's sharpening your vision. He's waking you up because something greater is ahead. And to step into it, you must be ready, not in panic, but in faith. This is not a call to fear. It is a call to prepare. Look back over your life for just a moment. Haven't you noticed that your greatest growth came from your hardest seasons, the financial struggles that forced you to lean on God as your provider, the relationships that broke and left you feeling abandoned, only to discover that he was your truest companion, the moments of feeling lost when every path seemed unclear, and yet somehow his spirit still nudged you forward one step at a time. Those weren't random hardships. They were training grounds. They were the gym where your spiritual muscles were built. Think of it this way: a soldier is never sent to battle without first enduring the training field. The running, the discipline, the drills, all of it is preparation for the real fight. You may not have realized it at the time, but every hardship you faced was your training. Every heartbreak was sharpening your discernment. Every setback was building your endurance. Every unanswered prayer was stretching your faith. And now God says, the training season is coming to an end. The mission is about to begin. Let's turn to the story of Noah. Imagine the courage it took for him to build an ark when the sky was perfectly clear. No thunder, no clouds, no sign of rain. Day after day he hammered and built, while people laughed at him, ridiculed him, and mocked his faith. But Noah wasn't moved by the opinions of the crowd. He was moved by obedience to God's voice. And when the flood came, his obedience saved him and his family. Now picture your life in the same light. Every act of obedience you've made, every decision to trust God, even when it didn't make sense, those have been the planks of your ark. Maybe others didn't understand why you prayed when the sky looked clear. Maybe they didn't see the point of you waiting on God when you could have chosen an easier path. But chosen one you've been building, brick by brick, step by step, faith by faith. And when the storms hit, that ark will carry you through. I want to ask you something. What is the ark you're building right now? Maybe it's your prayer life. Maybe it's your integrity in business when others cut corners. Maybe it's your decision to stay faithful in a relationship even when the world tells you to give up. Every small step of obedience is a plank in your ark. Every yes to God is another board. And though others may not understand it now, when the rains come, and they will, your obedience will be the very thing that carries you into safety and blessing. But don't miss this. The ark wasn't built overnight. It was a process. And so is your preparation. The enemy wants to distract you, to fill your mind with doubt, fear, and the lies that you'll never make it. He wants you to look at the clear sky and question if the rain will ever come. He wants you to believe your obedience is pointless. But here's the truth. No weapon formed against you will prosper. The whispers of doubt may come, but they cannot defeat the voice of God. The moments of fear may rise, but they cannot drown out his promises. The situations that feel impossible, are only the backdrop for his miracles. Every trial you faced is not proof that God abandoned you, it's proof that he's preparing you. Do you realize that? The enemy would not fight you this hard if you weren't carrying something valuable. He wouldn't try to silence you if your voice didn't carry power. He wouldn't try to break you if your destiny wasn't significant. The level of attack on your life has been confirmation of the level of calling on your life. And every battle you've endured has been a step toward a stronger comeback. Think of it like weight training. The resistance is painful, the strain feels unbearable, but that resistance is exactly what builds the muscle. Without it, there's no growth. And the same is true spiritually. The resistance you faced, financial struggles, broken relationships, personal doubts, was the very weight God used to strengthen you. Without it, you wouldn't be ready for what he's about to place in your hands. Now, let's bring it home. God is saying to you today, this is the moment to rise above fear and step into faith. You've been tested, you've been tried, but now you are being called to act, not out of panic, but out of trust. This warning is not meant to paralyze you. It is meant to energize you. It is meant to light a fire in your spirit that says, I am ready, I am prepared, I am chosen. Look at your life right now. Where is God calling you to act in faith? Maybe he's asking you to take that step in your career that feels scary. Maybe he's asking you to forgive someone who hurt you deeply. Maybe he's calling you to release control and let him handle the situation you've been clinging to. Whatever it is, understand this. Your act of obedience is the key that unlocks the next level of your destiny. Remember this, the ark saved Noah, not because he understood everything, but because he obeyed. You don't have to understand how it will all work out. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to take the step God is calling you to take. And when you do, his faithfulness will carry you. So, chosen one, don't be discouraged by the battles you've faced. Don't be paralyzed by the fear of the unknown. And don't let the enemy's lies tell you that you're not enough. You have been prepared for this moment. Every struggle was part of your training. Every tear watered the soil of your breakthrough. Every unanswered prayer strengthened the roots of your faith. And now God is saying, step forward. The ark is ready. The rain is coming, and I will carry you through. This is your call to action. This is your moment of preparation, not with fear in your heart, but with faith in your spirit. Because the same God who chose Noah, the same God who silenced the mouths of lions for Daniel, the same God who parted the Red Sea for Moses, that same God is with you. And if he is with you, who can be against you? Chosen one, lift your head, straighten your shoulders, take a deep breath of faith, because what's ahead is greater than what's behind. And every plank of obedience you've laid is about to carry you into a season of victory you've never known before. Chosen ones, I want you to imagine something with me. Picture yourself on a mountain. The climb has been steep. The rocks have cut your feet. The air has grown thin, and at times you wondered if you'd ever make it to the top. But now, after all the struggle, after every stumble and every tear, you stand on the summit. And from there, the view is breathtaking. You look back and realize that every painful step was worth it. That's exactly what God is showing you about your life. The climb was not wasted. The pain was not wasted. Every hardship, every doubt, every season of struggle has been preparing you for the victory that is now in front of you. Think about it, every sorrow carved out space in your heart for deeper joy. Every doubt stretches your faith to grow stronger. Every wound taught you resilience. And now, as you stand at the edge of this new season, you can see what God was doing all along. He was shaping you into a living testimony of his power. Your life is not just a story of survival. It's about to become a story of triumph. And that triumph will not only transform you, it will inspire others. You see, when God raises up a chosen one, it is never just about their personal blessing. It is always about something bigger. You are not simply being lifted for yourself. You are being lifted to become a light. You are a spark that will ignite hope in others who feel lost in darkness. The way you rise will remind them that they can rise too. The way you shine will cause them to believe in God's promises for their own lives. Your victory is not just your victory, it's a ripple of inspiration that touches everyone around you. Let's turn to the scriptures, because the Bible is full of chosen ones who had to endure the climb before they could step into their destiny. Think of Esther. To the world, she was just an ordinary woman, but God positioned her for an extraordinary moment. She could have shrunk back in fear, but instead she stepped forward with courage. And because she did, an entire nation was saved. Think of Moses, a man with a stutter, unsure of himself, running from his past. Yet God called him to stand before Pharaoh and declare freedom for his people. Moses climbed that mountain both literally and spiritually. And when he reached the summit, he wasn't the same man. He was a leader, a deliverer, a chosen one walking on purpose. Think of David, a shepherd boy overlooked by everyone, underestimated by his own family. But when he picked up those stones and faced Goliath, he wasn't just fighting a giant, he was stepping into his calling. His climb was long filled with rejection, hiding in caves and running from enemies. But each trial carved strength into his spirit, preparing him for the throne. And Joseph, betrayed, sold into slavery, thrown into prison, forgotten by men, but never forgotten by God. His climb looked like one setback after another. But when the time came, God elevated him from the pit to the palace in a single moment. Or Ruth, a widow with nothing, clinging to her faith and stepping into a land she didn't know. She had no idea that her climb through grief would lead her to Boaz, to provision, and ultimately to a legacy that would flow into the lineage of Jesus himself. Gideon, hiding in fear, doubting his worth, yet God called him a mighty warrior. Daniel, thrown into the lion's den, but delivered because of his unwavering faith. Jonah, running from God's call, yet given a second chance to fulfill his mission. Mary, a young woman carrying the Savior of the world, despite ridicule and misunderstanding. Paul, once a persecutor, transformed into an apostle whose letters still shape the church today. Job, stripped of everything, yet in the end restored with more than he had before. What do all these stories have in common? Each of them faced the mountain. Each endured the struggle. Each walked through pain, loss, fear, or doubt. But on the other side of that trial was victory. On the other side of their climb was destiny. Their suffering became the very doorway to their calling. And chosen one, the same is true for you. The trials you faced are not random. They are not meaningless. They are part of your preparation. Every valley you walked through was building strength for the mountain you are now climbing. Every tear you cried watered the ground for the harvest you are about to reap. And every battle you fought was proof that you were destined for more. Let me ask you this. How many times have you thought, I can't take another step? And yet you did. How many times did you feel like giving up, but something inside pushed you forward anyway? That wasn't just your own willpower. That was God's hand sustaining you. That was His Spirit whispering, don't stop now. The top is closer than you think. So yes, the climb has been hard. But can you imagine what's waiting at the summit? Can you see the destiny God is unfolding before your eyes? Can you picture the life that shines with His glory, the purpose that flows from your every step, the abundance that was promised? That is where He's leading you. That is what every hardship has been preparing you for. And when you get there, when you stand at the top, when you step into your destiny, you won't just be celebrating for yourself. Your life will be proof to others that God keeps his promises. Your testimony will be living evidence that he is faithful. People will look at you and say, if God did it for them, he can do it for me. That's why your victory matters. That's why you can't give up now. But let me remind you, victory doesn't always look the way we expect. Sometimes it's not the absence of struggle, but the presence of strength in the struggle. Sometimes it's not the removal of the storm, but the peace that carries you through it. Sometimes it's not the elimination of the mountain, but the courage to keep climbing. And chosen one, you have that courage. You have that strength. You have that faith, because God placed it inside of you. Your destiny is not a distant dream. It's not something reserved for a few special people. It is right in front of you. And the fact that you are listening to this message right now is proof that God is speaking to you, reminding you that your story is not over. In fact, it's only just beginning. So let me challenge you. What will you do with this moment? Will you stop halfway up the mountain and settle for less than what God has promised? Or will you keep climbing knowing that the summit is near? Will you let fear hold you back? Or will you step forward in faith? The choice is yours. But hear this, the same God who strengthened Esther, Moses, David, Joseph, Ruth, Gideon, Daniel, Jonah, Mary, Paul, and Job, that same God is strengthening you right now. Their stories were not just written for history. They were written to remind you of what is possible when you trust God with everything. So lift your head, chosen one. Wipe the sweat from your brow. Take another step. Because your mountain is not a barrier, it's a pathway. Your struggles are not the end, they're the beginning of something glorious. And your destiny is not far away, it's right ahead waiting for you to claim it. And when you rise, you won't rise alone. Your family will see it, your friends will see it, even your enemies will see it. And they will know that it was God who carried you. Your life will shine with his glory, and your victory will be undeniable. So don't stop now. Don't shrink back. Don't let fear rob you of what God has promised. Keep climbing, keep believing, keep pressing forward, because on the other side of this climb is your destiny, and it's greater than anything you could ever imagine. Chosen ones, I need you to lean in right now, because what I'm about to say carries urgency. This is not just another word, not just another message you scroll past and forget. This is a divine alarm clock. A countdown from heaven itself, and the clock is ticking. The season of waiting is over. The delay has ended. The time has come, and God is saying, now is your moment. For too long you felt like you were on pause, like your life was stuck in waiting mode. You prayed, you hoped, you believed, but the answer seemed delayed. You wondered if the promise would ever come. But chosen one, hear this, the countdown has begun. The window of waiting has closed. This is your appointed time. The time to step forward, the time to rise, the time to claim what God has spoken over you. And while God is moving, let me assure you of this, the enemy's time is up. His plans are collapsing. The lies he used to whisper into your ear are losing their power. The chains he tried to wrap around you are breaking apart. What he meant for evil is being overturned for your good. The countdown is not just about your breakthrough, it's also about the enemy's downfall. He has run out of time. His schemes are crumbling, and the same God who defended his people in every generation is defending you right now. The Bible makes this clear. Revelation 3:8 says, "See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut." Pause and think about that for a moment. When God opens a door, no human hand, no demonic force, no circumstance in this world can close it. Maybe in the past, doors have been slammed in your face. Opportunities slipped through your fingers. Relationships fell apart. Dreams seemed to die before they could ever live. But God is saying, I am opening a door in this season, and no one can shut it. Do you feel the weight of that promise? It means the opportunity that is coming is secure. The blessing that is arriving cannot be stolen. The breakthrough that's unfolding will not be blocked. And not only is God opening doors, He is taking ashes and turning them into beauty. Isaiah 6:1-3 declares that He will give you a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. Many of you have walked through seasons that felt like fire, loss, disappointment, betrayal, grief. The enemy hoped to leave you in ruins. But God says, watch what I do with the ashes. Out of the very places where you thought nothing could grow, He is bringing forth beauty. Out of your loss, He is bringing gain. Out of your pain, He is birthing purpose. Out of your brokenness, He is weaving wholeness. The ashes of your past are not the end of your story. They are the raw material God is using to create something breathtaking. And let's not forget the promise in Joel 2:5. I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Some of you feel like you've lost too much time. Years stolen by wrong choices. Years wasted in dead-end jobs or toxic relationships. Years where sickness or struggle seemed to hold you hostage. But God says, I am a restorer. And He doesn't just give back what was lost. He multiplies. He redeems time in ways you could never imagine. Think of Joseph, who lost years in prison but was promoted in a single day. Think of Job, who lost everything but was restored double. Think of the prodigal son who wasted his inheritance but was welcomed home with celebration. God is not limited by your lost years. He is the Redeemer of time. So hear this: He is opening doors. He is turning ashes into beauty. He is restoring lost years. And He is breathing new life into you. Where there was sorrow, joy is coming. Where there was lack, abundance is on the way. Where there was despair, hope is rising. Where there was bondage, freedom is breaking forth. God is declaring a new season over you, chosen one, a season of life, joy, fullness, and victory. But here's the part that cannot be ignored. You have a choice. You can stand still, paralyzed by fear, staring at the open door but refusing to walk through it. Or you can step forward in faith even if your knees are shaking and claim the destiny that has always been yours. The countdown is not only about what God is doing, it's about how you will respond. Think about the Israelites at the edge of the Red Sea. God parted the waters, but they still had to walk through. Think about Peter on the boat. Jesus called him to walk on water, but Peter had to step out. Think about Esther. The opportunity was in front of her, but she had to risk everything to act. God can open the door, but He will not push you through it. You must decide, will you stay in the familiar, or will you step into the promise? And let's be honest, the familiar feels safe, but it is often the very thing holding us back. Fear whispers, stay where you are, don't risk it. What if you fail? But faith says, move forward. God has already gone before you. The victory is certain. And chosen one, you were not created to live in fear. You were created to live in faith. You were not called to stand frozen at the doorway. You were called to walk boldly into destiny. Let me put it this way. Imagine standing at the threshold of a new home that was built just for you. The lights are on, the table is set, the keys are in your hand. All you have to do is step inside. But instead you stand at the door afraid of what's on the other side. Wouldn't that be tragic? That's how many people live, right at the edge of breakthrough but never stepping into it. Don't let that be your story. God has opened the door. The countdown has begun. The promise is here. The only question is, will you walk into it? And here's the truth, stepping into your destiny will not just change your life, It will change the lives of those connected to you. When Esther stepped forward, she saved a nation. When Moses obeyed, an entire people was set free. When Paul surrendered to Christ, the gospel spread across the world. Your obedience, your courage, your decision to step through the door will have a ripple effect far beyond what you can see. This is bigger than you. So as the countdown ticks, ask yourself, will I let fear hold me back, or will I move forward in faith? Will I believe the lies of the enemy, or will I cling to the promises of God? Will I stay in the ashes, or will I embrace the beauty? Will I lament the years lost, or will I trust the God who restores? The time of hesitation is over. The countdown has reached its moment. Now is the time. This is your season. Chosen one, I want you to feel the urgency. This isn't something you can put off for another day, another week, another year. God is moving now. The doors are opening now. The promises are unfolding now. And He is calling you to respond now. The countdown is ticking. The choice is yours. Step forward. Step into the destiny that has been waiting for you. Embrace the promises. Walk through the open doors and claim the life God has prepared. This is your urgent moment, but it is also your promised moment. Urgency and promise go hand in hand. The clock is ticking, but the reward is waiting. The time has run out for fear, for doubt, for delay. The time has come for faith, for courage, for victory. The countdown is not something to dread, it is something to celebrate. Because with every tick, you are closer to the fulfillment of God's word in your life. So rise up, chosen one. Lift your eyes, step forward. The countdown is real, but so is the promise. God is with you, and the future is waiting. Chosen ones, one of the most beautiful ways God teaches us is through pictures, through images that stay with us long after the words are spoken. Because while words may fade, an image has the power to remain in your spirit, reminding you of who you are and what God has promised. So today, I want to walk you through some powerful illustrations, pictures that God Himself has painted in Scripture and in creation, to remind you of your destiny, your strength, and your calling. Let's start with the image of a seed buried in the soil. Think about it. A seed is pressed deep into the dark earth. From the outside, it looks like the end. It looks buried, forgotten, hidden. But the truth is, it's not buried, it's planted. And what happens to a planted seed? It begins to grow. It pushes against the weight of the soil. It breaks through the darkness. It reaches for the light. And eventually, it produces a harvest. Chosen one, maybe you felt buried by the weight of your circumstances. Maybe the trials, the disappointments, the failures made you feel like you've been pushed down into a dark place. But let me remind you, you are not buried, you are planted. God has placed something inside of you that is about to break through the soil. Your season of harvest is coming. Every tear you sowed in the dark is about to bloom into joy. Psalm 126:5 says, "Those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy." Hold on, because the seed within you is not dead. It's alive and it's ready to break forth. Now picture a phoenix rising from the ashes. This ancient image has echoed across cultures, but it reflects a very biblical truth. In Isaiah 6:1-3, God promises to give us a crown of beauty instead of ashes. The phoenix is a reminder that what looks destroyed can be reborn. What looks finished can be revived. Some of you have walked through seasons of fire where everything you thought you could depend on burned away. But out of those ashes, God is bringing resurrection. Out of the flames that were meant to destroy you, He is birthing a new radiant version of you, stronger, brighter, and more alive than ever. Like the phoenix, you will rise not in your own strength, but in the renewing power of God's Spirit. Think of Daniel in the lion's den. The Bible tells us that God shut the mouths of the lions. Imagine standing there surrounded by predators ready to devour you, and yet not one tooth can touch you. That's the power of divine protection. Some of you are living in a lion's den right now, surrounded by threats, surrounded by voices that want to tear you down, surrounded by situations that seem dangerous. But hear this, God is still shutting mouths. The threats against you will not prevail. The lies of the enemy will not consume you. You are protected by the hand of the Almighty, and like Daniel, you will come out of the den without a single scratch, a living testimony of God's power. Now let's shift to the image of a river breaking through a dam. Close your eyes for a moment and picture the water pressing against the barrier. At first it seems contained, controlled, blocked, but then, in one powerful surge, the dam cracks, the barrier breaks, and the river rushes forward with unstoppable force. That's what God's blessings are like in your life. Maybe for years, it felt like everything was blocked, like no matter how hard you prayed, the answers didn't come. But chosen one, when God declares the time is now, nothing can stop the flow. His blessings will rush into your life like a mighty river, breaking through every obstacle, sweeping away every limitation, and carrying you into a season of overflow. Isaiah 40:31 gives us another unforgettable picture, an eagle soaring high above the storm. While other birds hide from the storm, the eagle doesn't run. It spreads its wings and uses the very winds of the storm to lift it higher. That's what God is calling you to do. Life will bring storms, trials, hardships, moments that shake you, but you were not created to be destroyed by them. You were created to rise above them. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. When the winds blow, don't shrink back. Spread your wings of faith. Let the storm lift you to new heights. The storm that was meant to break you will become the very thing that elevates you. And finally, think of a lighthouse standing strong in the storm. The waves crash, the wind howls, the night is dark, but that light shines steadily, guiding ships to safety. That's who you are called to be, chosen one. The world is full of storms, chaos, fear, confusion. People are lost in the darkness, desperate for direction. And God has placed His light inside of you to be a guide. Matthew 5:16 says, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." When you stand firm in faith, when you keep shining, even in the storm, you become a beacon of hope to others. Your life becomes a light that points people back to God. Now let's pull all of these images together. You are the seed that will bloom. You are the phoenix rising. You are Daniel in the lion's den, untouched because God's hand is on you. You are the river breaking through, unstoppable and free. You are the eagle soaring higher than the storm. You are the lighthouse shining bright in the darkest night. Each of these pictures is not just a story, it is a declaration of who you are in Christ. So let me ask you, which of these images speaks to you most right now? Do you feel like the seed buried but about to break through? Do you feel like the phoenix rising from the ashes of your past? Do you feel like Daniel standing in the den, but divinely protected? Do you feel like the river ready to burst forth into overflow? Do you feel like the eagle called to rise above the storm? Or do you feel like the lighthouse shining to guide others, whichever one resonates with you? Hold it close. Let it remind you of God's promises. Let it shape how you see yourself. Because when God paints these pictures, He's not just telling you stories, He's giving you vision. And vision is what keeps you climbing when the path is steep. Vision is what keeps you faithful when the answers seem delayed. Vision is what reminds you that your story doesn't end in ashes, in cages, in storms, or in darkness. Your story ends in victory. So, chosen one, embrace the pictures God has given you. See yourself in the seed, in the phoenix, in Daniel, in the river, in the eagle, in the lighthouse. Let these images burn in your heart, because they are not just metaphors, they are mirrors reflecting the destiny that is already yours. The harvest is coming. The ashes are turning to beauty. The lions are silenced. The dam is breaking. The storm is lifting you, and your light is shining. This is who you are. This is your moment. This is your destiny. Chosen ones. As we come to the close of this message, I want you to hear this loud and clear. Time is up. The waiting season has ended. The delay is over. The opportunity is not in the distant future. It is here right now. This is your moment. This is your call. And heaven itself is sounding the final alarm, saying, "Step into what I've prepared for you." For too long, fear has held you back. Guilt has weighed you down. Shame has whispered lies in your ear. Sin has chained you in cycles you thought you could never break. But God is declaring, it ends today. This is your final warning, not as a threat, but as an invitation. He is saying, lay it down, let go of the fear, release the shame, drop the burdens at my feet. Because what I have for you is too great to carry with the weight of the past on your shoulders. Let me ask you this. What would your life look like if you truly let go of fear? If you stopped letting worry dictate your decisions? If you stopped replaying the failures of yesterday and started walking in the promises of tomorrow? Can you imagine the freedom? Can you imagine the joy? That's what God is offering you. But the choice is yours. You can cling to the old, or you can step into the new. You can stay bound, or you can walk free. But the clock is ticking, and God is saying, choose now. Because His promise is this: on the other side of surrender is blessing. On the other side of obedience is abundance. On the other side of faith is freedom. You were not created to live in chains, you were created to live in fullness. Jesus said in John 10:10, I came that they may have life and have it more abundantly. That means a life overflowing with joy, with peace, with provision, with purpose. And chosen one, that promise is yours. This is the moment to rise. Isaiah 6:1 declares, Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Do you hear it? It doesn't say your light will come someday, it says your light has come. The time to shine is now. The time to stand is now. The time to act is now. God is not waiting on circumstances to align. He is waiting on you to say yes. And when you do, your life will become living proof of His power. You will be a testimony that God still moves, that He still heals, that He still restores, that He still performs miracles. You will walk into rooms and carry an atmosphere of faith that shifts hearts. You will speak words that inspire courage in others. You will live in such a way that people will look at you and know it had to be God. Think of the harvest God has promised. Galatians 6:9 says, Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. That harvest is closer than you think. The seeds you sowed in prayer, in tears, in faith, they are about to spring forth. The years the enemy stole are being restored. The seasons of loss are being redeemed. And the fields of your life are about to overflow with abundance. Think of the miracles He has spoken. Just as Moses stretched out his staff and the sea parted, you will see impossible doors open. Just as Elijah called down fire from heaven, you will see prayers answered in ways that defy logic. Just as the woman with the issue of blood touched the hem of Jesus' garment and was instantly healed, you will experience breakthroughs that happen in a moment after years of waiting. Think of the restoration He has promised. Joel 2:5 reminds us that God will restore the years that the locust has eaten. Everything you thought was wasted, everything you thought was lost, everything you thought was over, God is restoring it. Your peace, your health, your joy, your purpose, your relationships, your destiny, none of it is beyond His reach. And think of the victories that are waiting for you. Romans 8:3-7 declares, "In all these things we are more than conquerors through Him who loved us." That means you are not just surviving, you are overcoming. You are not just scraping by, you are thriving. You are not just fighting battles, you are winning them. Every test is turning into a testimony. Every mess is becoming a message. Every trial is transforming into triumph. But chosen one victory requires action. It requires faith. It requires you to step forward when everything in you wants to hold back. It requires you to trust God when you can't see the outcome. It requires you to believe His word, even when the circumstances around you scream otherwise. This is the life of faith. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Faith is the confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." Faith doesn't wait for proof. Faith is the proof. Faith doesn't wait for the door to swing wide open. It walks toward the door, believing it will open in time. So here's the question: will you stand still, or will you rise? Will you cling to the past, or will you embrace the future? Will you let fear control you, or will you let faith propel you? Because time is up. The countdown has reached its final moment, and the choice is yours. Let this be your declaration. Today I will arise. I will shine. I will step forward. I will not shrink back. I will not let fear dictate my life. I will walk in freedom. I will live in abundance. I will fulfill my destiny as a chosen one of God. And as you declare it, watch what happens. Watch the chains fall. Watch the doors open. Watch the miracles unfold. Watch your life transform into a living testimony of God's faithfulness. So, chosen one, hear me one last time. Time is up. No more hesitation, no more delay, no more excuses. The harvest is here. The restoration is here. The miracles are here. The victory is here. Step into it. Claim it. Live it. Because this is your season, this is your calling, and this is your destiny.